Most of you know who this guy is, Jesse Livermore. And if you don't know, he's kind of the first speculator that made just a ridiculous amount of money in the stock market. And this was back during the Great Depression times. He was so good, in fact, that by the age of 30, in today's terms, he was worth $100 million. And by the way, this is coming from Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money, the topic that we're going to talk about today. And what's crazy is that in that huge market crash, Livermore in one day made more than $3 billion. That's a ridiculous amount of money. So Livermore was one of the greatest speculators of all time, but a problem that he had was actually keeping his money. So if you've read his stories, you know that he's made fortune after fortune, but the reason he's had to make so many fortunes is because he kept losing the previous ones. And this is an important concept to talk about in the stock market because it's not just about making money, it's about keeping that money that you've made. And if you've been watching our channel for a while, you know we just rant about risk control all the time because we really believe in that. The best way to really get rich and to really grow your money in the stock market is to not lose money. Another more current example instead of Livermore is all the people that got rich in the crypto boom. Most of them lost all that money because the same thing that made them that money was the same thing that actually made them lose it later. Because you're taking these big bets, right? And they pay off, you make the money. But once you have that money, you need to switch your mentality a little bit to preserving capital. Now, in our case at Fallible and Macro Ops, we like to combine those two mentalities from the get-go. How do you make low-risk bets that could have huge upside? That's how you manage your risk while still opening yourself up to those big rewards. So how do you do it? How do you stay conservative so that you don't lose money, but not too conservative that you don't get any gains either? Well, one important way to do it is by keeping a margin of safety. So what does that mean? Well, during a bull market, everyone wants to invest, right? They want to put their money in stocks so they see it fly higher year after year. And not only that, but a lot of people actually take on debt to put even more money into the market. But some people, the few smart people, don't put all their money into the market. They keep some cash. And why do they keep some cash on the sidelines? Well, that's their margin of safety. And honestly, it might suck keeping your money on the sidelines if the market's going up 10% each year and the cash in your account is only making 1%. As Morgan Housel said in his book, that 9% is going to eat away at you every day. Just mentally, it's going to make you feel bad. But at the same time, when that bear market rolls around and you need that cash, you're going to be very happy that you have it. So in my case, I keep a lot of cash outside of the market, just sitting in cash. And during the times that we're in right now, people would say that's stupid because inflation is eating it away. And I agree that inflation is hurting that money, but I don't agree that it's stupid. Because I know for me personally, because I'm a business owner, there is a lot of volatility in my income. And for me to be safe and to have that margin of safety, I need that large amount of cash that isn't in the market, that isn't invested, it's just sitting there. And this is something that I only learned in the last few years, which thank God I did before all this stuff happened. But a lot of entrepreneurs do the same thing. They just keep hundreds of thousands, even $500,000 worth of cash, just in cash, because they know what their margin of safety is when they're running their businesses. So it's important to remember that you don't want to be too greedy. Remember that every upside comes with some downside too. So you got to protect for that downside. Don't risk everything to go after those last few percentage points. It's not worth it. Because what else do we know in the market? Why do we talk about risk management so much? Because we know the best way to win out long term is to just survive. Because in markets and in business and in a lot of areas in life, the way you win is just staying in the game. And when it comes to markets, the way to stay in the game is to not get knocked out from doing something stupid. So again, it's just survival. So you can look at this chart right here of the GDP in the US. You can see it looks pretty good when you zoom out, right? We are in an uptrend. And in those 170 years that you just saw, our living standard has increased 20-fold. Things have been really good, at least when you look at it from a macro scale, because in between those 170 years, a lot of stuff happened. A lot of wars, a lot of flus, a lot of death, a lot of bad times. But in your lifetime of investing, say it's 50 years, you're going to go through recessions, you're going to go through bad times, but over the longer span, if you could stay in it and survive, you're going to see those returns. And you know, in the last video, we talked about compounding and how that works year over year, decade over decade. And that's once again why it's so important to stay in the game. And this relates to something I've talked about in recent videos too, about Eastern philosophy, about going with the flow and taking punches instead of fighting them. Well, if you're optimistic about the long-term future, it's much easier to go through these periods that are rougher. And it's easier to keep your mental game straight so that you don't blow out during these times. Now, another thing you want to do to be able to survive long-term so you could gain all the benefits is when you're planning, don't plan for just the best case scenario. Like, don't make your financial plan in the future based off if the market is returning 50 15% a year. That's stupid. 15% a year would be nice. The average is only 8, so I don't know why you would think 15. But would you survive based off your plan if the market only returned 4% a year? So make sure when you're planning, you're thinking about those worst case scenarios. Not that 4% is worst case, but don't just plan for the 15%. Make sure you're going to be okay if the plan doesn't work out exactly like it's supposed to. And that's not only being okay from a monetary standpoint, but also from a mental standpoint. And that goes back to the Eastern philosophy too. How much do you need to really be happy? Not much. Is the glass half full or half empty? If your mental game is right, you're going to look at it as half full all the time. And that's what's also going to help you through the tough times. And if your financial goals aren't exactly met how you wanted them to be, you can still be happy and you can still have a good life. But it's going to come down to that mentality that you have. So really, though we would all like to be like Livermore here and make those huge gains and everything, in reality, there's aspects of him that we don't want to be like. The biggest is how he lost money over and over again. And sadly enough, he eventually committed suicide because it was too much. So when you look at that, it is going to be more beneficial to be a little more conservative and to actually survive and stay in the game so that you can see the results at the end. And like we talked about before, a lot of those results come from the power of compounding. And we talked about compounding in this video right here. Definitely go watch it because it'll make a lot of what was said in this video make a lot more sense. So click the video right here and I will see you there.